Welcome to the Free Super Tips Premier League Tipping Challenge against the Racing Post. And after last week, such a tight affair, we had to have Dan Childs back again. So you ready for it? Another go?
Up for the challenge, yeah.
Right, we're going to get cracking. Same again, 5 big games over the weekend. We're going to start with Leicester versus Liverpool. OK, Leicester have made a fairly solid start to the league, haven't they? I should think their fans are quite happy with where they are. Approaching the Liverpool match, though, again, they're without Jamie Vardy after that silly red card he got against Wolves. Liverpool started so well. We know about their attacking talent, but it's in defence. They've improved so much. The signing of Alisson in goal and Virgil van Dijk, I mean, he looks immense at the back. We can't see Leicester scoring really here. We're going to go for a 2-0 Liverpool win, but our selection is going to be Liverpool -1 in the handicap.
I'm going to look at it on a very similar theme really. That I'm struggling to see Leicester scoring in this goal. And you touched on Jamie Vardy's absence there. I've had a look back at the previous games between these teams. Vardy scored 7 of Leicester's last 9 goals in matches against Liverpool. I mean, that is just a huge amount of goals to take out the team. When you think they've lost Riyad Mahrez as well, you're struggling to think where the threat's going to come from Leicester. As you mentioned there as well, Liverpool with Alisson being signed in goal, Van Dijk, the difference he's made at the back, 3 clean sheets, they've not really looked like conceding. So I'm on a similar theme there, and I'm going to go Liverpool to win 2-0.
On to Manchester City versus Newcastle. Now, Manchester City, they've not done a lot wrong. They dropped the 2 points against Wolves, but they still looked immense going forward. They were carving Wolves open. They hit the woodwork a few times. No problem scoring goals. We did touch on last week, though, the small negative. They do happen to concede. 58% of their games at home last year, they let in a goal. And even though they gave Huddersfield a real hiding, they still let in a goal again there. That's the angle that we're going with this match. Newcastle to score. So we're going to go for Manchester City to win, but both teams to score. Newcastle have scored this year against Tottenham and Chelsea. That's around 15-8. You might even get 2-1 if you have a look about. So it's Man City to win, but both teams to score.
I'm gonna go slightly against this now, because for both teams to score, both teams have got to be trying to score. And Newcastle at the moment under Rafa Benitez, I mean, it's such a negative setup the way he's going about playing. I can understand the amount of injuries he's got in there, particularly in midfield with John Joe Shelvey being missing at the moment. I think Isaac Hayden's still suspended as well, so he's light numbers in midfield. But I still think, I mean, the Chelsea match, the goal they scored, there was a kind of looked like an elbow in the build-up to the goal as well, Newcastle's goal against Chelsea. Away to City, I think they'll probably be even more negative. You can imagine them having 15 to 20% of possession. Man City, on the other hand, even without Kevin De Bruyne, they're still creating lots of chances, as you've mentioned. They're scoring plenty of goals. They drew 1-1 against a very good Wolves side, I thought, last weekend. This is a much easier test for them. I think Man City with a comfortable win, so I'm going to go Man City to win 3-0.
So we're both up for a Man City easy victory, but the dispute is here. We think Newcastle will nick a goal. Dan doesn't. Cardiff versus Arsenal. Now, Cardiff have had a real tough start to their Premier League campaign, yet to score. Unai Emery for Arsenal, I think he's starting to get his point across. In patches, they were OK, I think, against Man City and against Chelsea. Came from 1 behind to beat West Ham 3-1. That was quite convincing. We think they're going to have to dig out a victory here, though. Cardiff are probably going to play quite defensive, might even be happy with a point. We're looking at something like a 1-0 victory for Arsenal, but our selection is going to be under 2.5 goals in this one.
Well, I'm going for the identical selection, under 2.5 goals as well. I think from Arsenal's point of view, I agree in the first 2 games they showed in patches against good sides. There was some positives there and creating chances. I was actually more worried about their West Ham performance, because that's a game that they're odds on to win. They're expected to win it comfortably, and actually, until they get the noses in front, which was a bit of a fortuitous goal really coming in off the Ops' chest, I thought the game could have gone either way, and I think that's a concern for Arsenal going forward. However, they're probably likely to nick this game. Cardiff, they've had a tough start, as you've mentioned, but they've also had opportunities. They've been playing against 10 men in in each of their last 2 games, didn't take advantage. Still haven't scored a goal yet, Cardiff. I can't see where the goals are going to come from. So maybe a narrow Arsenal win, but I agree, under 2.5 goals looks the way to go.
On to Watford versus Tottenham. Now, both these sides have got off to a cracking start, 9 points out of 9. Watford, they really look like they're playing for each other. I mean, you know a lot more about Watford than I would. Roberto Pereira, he's already got 3 goals this season. So things are going well for Watford. Tottenham, they were absolutely unbelievable against United on Monday night. They've got goals all over their team. They look like they're really in control of everything going on at the moment. So for us, we do think Tottenham's going to edge this game. We're looking at something like 2-1, but our selection would be over 2.5 goals.
I'm going to be looking at, not get against Spurs, but I'm looking at the draw here as being the value bet. I just think Spurs against Man United, sometimes the result can sort of paper over a few little cracks in that. I thought the midfield, Spurs lost the midfield in that first half against Manchester United, and I think that there's a few little issues that I need to sort out there. You know, maybe Moussa Dembele taking time to get up to speed and his normal self. And I think Watford are quite strong, as you've mentioned there, in all areas of the pitch at the moment. Doucouré is a very good midfield player, been linked with Spurs in the past. I think they can match Spurs in the middle of the park. And I think Watford, they've had some winnable games, but they've won them all. They're playing really well. Deeney and Gray look a threat out front. Pereira, as you mentioned, is a spark for them as well off the wing. I think they'll cause Spurs some problems, and I think the draw is a value bet.
Now finally, Burnley versus Manchester United, not on live, but we couldn't leave this game out, not after what's been happening at United of late. So this could be, though, an ideal game for them to get back on track. If you look at Burnley, by the time this game kicks off, they'd have already played 9 times this season. Their squad can't really cope with that. They're getting the odd niggly injury. They would have also played on Thursday night. This is an ideal opportunity for Jose and United to get back on track. We think there's going to be over 2.5 goals because both defences look a bit dodgy. United to come out something like 2-1 or 3-1 winners, but definitely over 2.5 goals for us.
I'm just going to go for a straight Manchester United win here. I know there's a lot of negativity around at the moment. I actually thought their performance in terms of intensity was way better against Spurs than it was against Brighton. I thought that, you know, there was a few issues at the back there with Herrera playing in a back three. Surely Mourinho's not going to make the same mistake again there, so I would expect them to be a little bit tighter at the back, and I agree it's a great game for them to get back on track. Burnley, after Europa League games this season, they've been poor. Were well beaten at home by Watford. The 4-2 at Fulham as well. I mean, Fulham had so many chances in that game. It could have been 6 or 7. So, no, I think Man United are going to get back on track here, and I'll back them to win.
Hope you've enjoyed our Premier League tipping challenge and have a good Premier League weekend. Thanks, Dan, for joining us.